Okay.
Greetings, dear most precious person, spirit soul, that you are. And that you has never been harmed or hurt. That you is a constant. That you can never be destroyed. The false ego can be destroyed. The false sense of who you are. The physical body can be destroyed. But you have a spiritual body. Activate your spiritual body. That's my topic. Activate your spiritual body. What happens is death is everywhere. Graveyards are everywhere. This person died, this person died, this person's born, this person's died, this person goes on, and well, this is the way it is here. And and you take a look at history, your family history. They've suffered, they've gone through hardship, they've struggled, they worked. Not everybody. But why is that happening? Why would you pay rent or have to buy a parcel on a place where you appeared, took birth, so to speak, but you didn't take birth? You appeared, and then you disappear because you remain constant. When you take back yourself, you have to take back yourself from your definition of yourself, from what you're told that you are. And we're told and taught that we are meat sticks. And that these meat sticks that we are, some are better and some are worse. Some are beautiful, some are ugly. Some are worth money, some are worth nothing. Some are black, some are brown. Some are male, some are female. Whatever you say. And people get confused. Teenagers are confused. Young people. What do you mean young people? We're all the same age. And we're eternal. But what we get out there is a bunch of bogus teachings. And we have a bunch of bogus teachers. And they say there's two things in the ancient Vedas. And I found that, being a student of metaphysics was wonderful and is wonderful. I teach metaphysics. I teach Essene teachings. And I teach Vedic teachings because they are harmonious. When you actually dig down and you get what's there, is the truth of who you are that liberates you from all distress, all sickness, all crime, all wars, all arguing and fighting. You say, well, that'd be boring because I wouldn't have any challenges to overcome. We've got a huge challenge to overcome right now is all the programming that makes you believe who you are and what's invaluable and important. You take a look at what we struggle for is to attain what we've been told is valuable and important. Why? Because it's valuable and important to people who make money from you. But they don't just make money from you, they make the interest on the money from you. And what is money? It's just paper and coins, or now it might be gold and be silver, and we'll monitor and we'll do this because you could buy stuff. Because you're called a consumer. Really, I'm not a consumer. I'm not from Sumeria. I'm not Babylonian. No, that's not my heritage. No matter what your body type is, no matter what your nationality, no matter the color of your skin, or the size of your body, who and what is there is you. And as you have feelings. You care. You have compassion, you have love. And what happens is people are living in depression. People are living in mental confusion. People are living in chaos. People are trying to figure out, well, how do I do this, and how do I make that happen, and how do I attain this, and how do I do all this, because these are valuable. This is what they say I have to make, and I have to get there, and I have to attain that. And there's some sign on a high school near where I live that says, oh, here are people who are scholars and athletes and blah, blah. No, they're just little people there. Little sweet people there. And who people have become monsters. Confused, don't know where they're going or what's doing because they don't have knowledge. Where do they get it? From bogus teachers, bogus teaching. And where do you get it from? Well, this new channeler came along and told me this or that. Really? You don't know anything? You go to somebody who's channeling dead people? Or why don't they channel the neighbor and then see if they get it right by go find out if that's what the neighbor was really thinking? But then you could prove it, maybe. But you can't prove that stuff. What you can prove is what you know. And great teaching, what they do, great teachings truly get you in touch with who you are. So that then you're right connected to source, which is divine magic, not fakey Harry Potter magic that makes children believe in demons and you're riding on broomsticks and you're doing casting spells. People are casting spells on themselves through their language because it's called spelling. It's spell casting. They allow words, they give words the privilege to tell them who they are. Are words telling you who you are? Is someone else telling you who you are? Is someone else telling you what's possible for you? And what you have to do and you have to attain in order to make it? You've already made it. You're already there. You already have it all. And my work, there's others like me out there, it's very frustrating. It hurts if we let it hurt us. To see our beloved family and friends and people all over the world, all involved in some mass drama that's catastrophic for people because it uses people. It's not empowering to people. It's not nourishing to people. It's lies. And lies persist. And how do you get over a lie? You have to tell the truth. And that telling the truth, most people don't know what the truth is because they're so taught to believe lies that they believe lies are true. Why? Through repetition. Told over and over. You're tested on it in school. Well, this is true and that's false. Who says? Well, the book says. Well, who wrote the book? Someone who wants you to believe that. It takes a lot of courage to own yourself. It takes a lot of investment. I've invested millions of so-called worldly dollars in my consciousness. And nobody can take it. And you got to be careful what you eat and what you put into your body. And who's influencing you. And what you're going along. And you know what happens is we have a thing that we want to be liked. That we want people to like us. We want to have friends. We want to be included. Well, whoever and whatever you identify with, you take on those qualities. It doesn't mean it's you, but you become an actor. And we all have become actors, acting our part, acting out the role we're playing in somebody else's script, somebody else's movie that's going through the mind, and we're believing those thoughts, believing those stories, believing those scenarios, and giving other people the power out there to make our choices for us and tell us who we are because we want their stuff. It's insidious. And what it takes in anything, if in the people that we're around and who's influencing us, and where you can be who you are and where you can't be who you are, because it's not allowed, it's not okay, and keep everybody fixated on the outside this is the effect. This is the movie. This is the distraction. Get centered on yourself. And if you're really serious about who you are, I invite you to contact me. I have retreats here at Shasta, workshops, counseling that I work with, and teaching sessions, empowerment, career, so that you can do what you really love to do as your life's work and prosper. That means it gives you what you need to maintain yourself in the system while being out of the system. And when you're out of the system, you're not identifying with any religious group, with any species other than who you are, with any group, with any organization, with any of that. You're not saying, oh, I'm part of this, because now you're in a box. And thinking is the box. So I'll think myself into another box. No. You have to get beyond thinking to the place of knowing. Yes. I know. I'm on it. But you know what it is? You're important to you and to me and to others when you're who you are. But not important when you're just a fake and you're living some story, or you know what I've noticed is people what may I say? It takes a really courageous person to be who they are, because it's not popular. Not popular at all. But you're free. And when you're free, you're liberated from all the problems of humanity, because they're no longer yours. Because you're not a role in somebody else's movie. You're who you are. And when you're who you are, everywhere you walk is holy ground, because you're a divine being with all divine godlike powers, qualities, abilities, sensitivities, feelings, intuition, knowing, the abundance of all that's possible is contained within you. And if you really want that, and that's really who you are, I invite you to contact me. I invite you to work with me. And I invite you that I will share with you what I know and the resources for you to do your research, for you to come to your own conclusions, and to bring forth your talents and your abilities and your divine genius and all that you are to help others, which is the greatest work in the world. So, breathe into your heart. Yeah, and take a look. What's your commitment to you? What is that? Because you're always going to be with you. You're always going to be. You're an eternal being, and you cannot die. And you were never born. You have always been. You know, some people say, well, in my religion, when you're dead, you're dead. Well, good for you, but it's not true. Well, you can't challenge my religion. Really? I'm not challenging you. I'm just telling you that it's a lie. Because you're the truth. The absolute truth, of which there is no higher truth. Yeah. Take it or leave it.